All right, today I want to do a video on peptides, which are a pretty hot topic these days. And, I think the videos have been done to death on peptides as far as their mechanisms, what they're good for, just kind of the general information about them. There's a lot of information out there, and I think you guys are all able to get that. And obviously, I'm not a doctor. This is not medical advice, but I'm just going to talk about my experience with different peptides. So I'll start off today talking about my favorite peptide, which is thymosin alpha 1. And it's kind of, it's a popular one, but it's probably not a lot of people's favorites or favorite because when you take thymosin alpha 1, you don't really feel anything, especially if you're healthy. It improves your immune system. And there's certain situations where you might take thymosin alpha 1 and you might benefit from it, like if you were sick from various illnesses. Say you got a cold or the flu or something like that or something else, you could take thymosin alpha 1 and probably recover a little bit quicker. And that's my experience. A lot of times when I feel like I'm getting sick, thymosin alpha 1 is the main thing that I take, and I usually don't get sick. I had an issue with mold toxicity that I've talked about previously. Turns out it was probably a combination of a dental infection, which was probably causing more of the issue because when I got the teeth removed 5 years after the fact, I found out that all my symptoms kind of went away. I did have mold toxicity. I got tested for it. However, and I treated it and I felt a little bit better, but that dental infection seems to have been doing most of the damage. Anyways, during that time of my life, thymosin alpha 1 really helped a lot with just kind of keeping my symptoms down, keeping my body in a little bit better shape, keeping myself healthier, feeling better, things like that. Anytime I take it when I get sick, it's amazing. And, since I've been taking the peptides, I've noticed that, I kind of look and feel younger. I'm maintaining my youth into now my 40s. And so it's one of those things that's really good for your body. There's a ton of research on it. Cavinson did a bunch of research. It's one of the more studied peptides out there. It was the original peptide, I believe, that he used on the soldiers on the nuclear subs to keep them from dying from nuclear exposure or whatever kinds of issues they were having with that. And it worked, at least in their experiments, it worked. So it's just kind of an overall immune peptide. Modulates the Th1 to Th2 balance in your body, which is relatively important for inflammation. And it's just a really overall good peptide. I take it, again, not medical advice, but I take relatively low dosages. I worked with a functional doctor who felt like a long-term low dose was fine. Again, there's like no testing on long-term protocols. He felt like there was no issues with using it long-term because of the way that because peptides are compounds that are naturally in your body does know how to break them down. They don't have particularly long half-lives, at least the ones that I've looked at. And they seem like substances that would have less potential for negative effects. It's a relatively benign peptide. I really like it. I think it's really helped me out a lot. It's probably something, if they ban peptides, I won't be using it for a little while, but it's probably something that may fall out of my stack now that I feel a lot healthier and I feel like I need less compounds. I'm looking at moving into a time in my life where I'll probably use significantly less supplements, if for nothing else because they're costing me a lot of money, but also because I kind of want to let my body reset and see how my body functions with a really healthy diet now that I'm fully healthy and have gotten rid of the issues that I had. So I'm probably going to try maintaining things, just improving my diet a little bit. My diet was already pretty good compared to most people, but there's always room for improvement. And so I'm going to give that a try. But yeah, thymosin alpha 1 is my favorite peptide. I think it's the most effective, low cost, high return peptide. But it is certainly one that you're not going to get that same type of noticeable feeling that you might from like a BPC or a thymosin beta 4, which everybody calls TB500, um, or like a MOTS-C or C-Max. You know, a lot of these peptides you'll actually feel for the most part. So thymosin beta 4, when I was sick, I really felt thymosin beta 4 quite a bit because it's very anti-inflammatory and it actually helped quite a bit with the condition that I had. But I look at it less as a long-term solution. It's great for healing joints and things like that. That's another video. We'll talk about each peptide individually, but thymosin alpha 1 was a really good one, and it's definitely my favorite.